Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for that great welcome. Well, I'll just apologise. You've given us that welcome, but you've come out for a full night of stand-up comedy. So I haven't always been a top disableist. Unfortunately, I had a serious accident a few years ago. I actually broke my neck racing motocross, which it's classed as an extreme sport. Or as I think of it now, an extreme way to get a fucking blue badge. And you find out that people don't know how to talk to the disabled person, right? Particularly on a night out, right? They'll be really patronising. They'll come up to you, right? And they'll pat you on the head. And they'll go, oh, bless you. Are you all right? Are you having a good night there? They'll rub your head. Sometimes they'll pull your cheek like that. But what they don't realise, I'm a complete cunt. And they'll want to know what's happening, right? They become obsessed with why you're in a wheelchair, right? Now, there's this fucking angry old man, right? Walks his dog near my house. Fucking, I call, right? I call him fucking on account of his limited vocabulary. He's one of them, fuck. What the fuck, that's a fucking fuck. Don't ask us what his dog's called, because he just shouts at it. Dog! Fucking dog! Hey, fucking dog! Get here, fucking dog! Which is probably quite handy for the dog, in case it was thinking it was a cat or something like that, you know? Anyway, I'll sum him up right before I tell you about my encounter with him. First encounter. Anyway, well, he walks the dog, and there's this other guy walks this big Alsatian near mine, right? And dog is fucking scared of the Alsatian, right? The pub at the end of the road has picnic tables out the front, right? And anyway, dog's there, and the Alsatian's approaching, and the landlady of the pub's watching out the window as fucking lifts dog up onto the picnic table. It gets scared, and it curls a nice walnut whip out on the picnic table, right? So she's straight out. I hope you're going to clean that up. You're going to clean that up. And he just says, no, it's not on the ground. Which is fair enough, right? So the first time he sees me, right, he's over there, he's like, oh, where do you go fucking tiddling off to in that fucking thing? Pointing at me van, right? So I was like, wait, short of having me fucking diary handy, I would see him maybe work or something. And he goes, oh, work? I thought you'd have been going to hospital. Because that's the only place those fucking disabled people go. Then he says, what is it then? What is it? Is it polio? Is it? Is it polio? Says, well, it's a good guess, but you're not fucking right. It's actually bubonic plague. Now piss off before I touch it and your fucking arm falls off. What would possess somebody? Like to go up to someone else and like start asking what's wrong with them? I mean, I wouldn't dream of going up to him and saying, oh, what is it then? What is it? Ignorant old cunt, is it? Next time he sees us, right, he's back over again. Well, I couldn't be bothered to say much this time. So I says, yeah, well, unfortunately, I had a serious accident. I fell off my motorbike. Oh, should have seen the look of disgust. He says, motorbikes. I might have known. Was it worth it? Was it? Was it worth it? Says, well, yes, it was actually. Then he gives his final thoughts to sum up our encounter, right? When he came up with a profound statement. Motorbikes. Everyone wants them, then something happens and you're fucked. Which I thought that's a bit harsh, like I wouldn't normally react. But on this particular occasion, I said to him, well, I might be a bit fucked in your eyes, but they're working on cures and treatments for spinal injuries all the time. But I'm pretty certain that they'll never be able to put brains into a fucking turnip. So I went back to work, right? I worked in architecture. I worked for the local authority architects department. So when I went back after me accident, they had to make some reasonable adjustments and what have you. So one of the things they had to do, I couldn't pick the telephone up and like answer calls and take messages. So they sorted us out a hands-free speakerphone, right? Well, I worked in an open plan office, right? And it soon becomes fucking quite awkward when everybody can hear your conversation, right? And this became evident to start with when I had an issue with my computer. I had to ring IT up. And I'm on the phone. Hello, IT. Hello, this is IT, yes. I said, so I'm sorry, I can't log into my computer. Well, naturally it was oh, she says, have you switched it off and on again? I said, yeah. She says, all right, well, can I have your password, please? Oh, word of warning. If you're working in that type of environment, have a little think on before you start picking your password, right? Said, oh, password, you want me password? It's one piss flap. I said, oh, can you spell that for us? Now, right, so I had the speakerphone, right, and unfortunately, I went and told my brother, right, that I had a speakerphone. So, right, you may be ahead of us here, right? So this particular day, and there was a meeting room in our office, right? There was a meeting table, and my desk was right near the meeting table, right? So this project had gone badly wrong, right? A school project, and round this table, right, our boss was trying to smooth things over, right, explaining it wasn't our fault, why things had gone badly wrong and what have you. And so you had like, there was some school governors there was some councillors, there was the head of the design team, there was a whole manner of people, you know, important people connected with the council. And the phone rings. Ring, 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 ring. I picks it up within 3 rings. Bang. Good customer service. Hello, architects department. Now then, cocksucker! Ooh, if you'd seen the look of disgust off my boss, his eyes were boring a hole into us, right? They were all just looking at us. I knew I was going to have to do the role of shame around and apologise. Right? So I rolled round and said, I'm really sorry for what you might have heard there. I said it was absolutely very unprofessional, Mario. But I'd like to just categorically state to you, I've never sucked a cock in my entire life. Now, speaking of cocks, right? I wasn't looking at you there. People often want to know, right? Does it still work? Right? There's a fucking lady at the front nodding. Do you want to know if it still works? It never fucking stops. Never stops. As my dad says, it's like the police, never off duty. which can be handy. I mean, my good lady's not fucking complaining, right? But it can have its practical problems, right? Now, particularly now, as an example, the local shops are only 5 minutes from my house. But to get there, you've got to cross through a children's fucking play park. Well, I can't fucking go through in case he's ready for action and I end up on the fucking sex offenders register. I've got to do a full fucking 20-minute fucking... don't get us started about it. Now, last year, we'd been to Austria on holiday and I had to go through airport security. And, well, in my chair, I can't fit through the thing, so I get frisked. Way. He'd fucking gone up early for the flight. And I never thought in my whole fucking life that I'd ever get the opportunity to say this fucking cliched fucking joke, right? But I did. He starts frisking us down, right? This German-speaking Austrian, right, with a big fucking bushy tat. And he gets oh, is there something in your pocket? And of course, I says, no, I'm just fucking pleased to see ya. Right, now then, something else has been happening at home, right? The other half, right? Now, I think I'm going to end up, I maybe should be on the safeguarding fucking register, right? Now this, in our defence, it started when she was a bit pissed up off a night out, right? But she started leading us about the house by the cock, like it's a fucking handle. She just like nonchalant, like. I've heard them called the fucking panhandle, but not a chair handle. So she just whistles and fucking rolls about. It's all about roll and resistance for fucking me. That's why I've got the fucking wood floors in a lightweight chair. It'll just end up off on our fucking hand. Broken like everything else just fucking touches in the house. But it's not actually, what actually happens is she goes, walkies! And then she leads us about, and I just go along with it in the hope that I'm going to get treats. Tidbits, maybe. Whoa! So, all right, this is kind of happening all. They don't tell you everything, right? So, like, obviously there's certain things about when you become injured that it's obvious, you know? Like, you can't walk and stuff like that, right? But, I mean, fucking hell, duh. But there's some things that don't tell you about, right? So, you know, like, I'm a man of a certain age now. And you know, like, us men of us, as we get older, at a certain age, you put a bit of weight on. We grow man boobs, don't we? You, sir, have got a splendid set. For those of you at the back, I would say they look about a C cup. Very nice indeed. Very pert. Anyway, right? So, I've had my spinal injury, and recently I put a bit of weight on, right? And like, oh man, you think, oh, and you grow tits and whatever. But fucking check this out, right? I grew fucking one tit. One fucking tit. Now why? I don't fucking know. I'm not a medical person. Why would you just grow fucking one? I was self-conscious. My dad saw us with my top off. There was no reassurance. He just says, fucking hell, son. It's that one tit. Says you couldn't bend bloody wire that shape, son. Anyway, right. So through like hard work and exercise and strict diet of dust and only the memories of nice food, I lost weight again, right? And with it, the tit, which is very nice. But I went on a couple of elaborate holidays with the all-inclusive, eat all the shite you can type of stuff, and I put weight on again, and you think, oh, he's grown the tit. But check this out, it was the fucking other tit this time. What the fuck? Now, never in my whole life have I fucking dreamed about growing a set of tits. That's 2, by the way. But anyway, right, I'm thinking, right, one of these days I'm going to grow 2. And to celebrate, right, I'm going to get some fucking nipple tassels. And I've devised this dance, right, which I'm going to use, right, in sexy purposes to lure in my good lady for sexy time and what have you. See what you think. Check this out. Get the nipple tassels going. Smooth. Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen.